In this final part of the series on how to play the blues scale in all 5 positions across the fretboard, we will be having an in-depth look at position 5 of the blues scale, along with learning some great sounding licks to get you using this scale in your solos by the end of this lesson. Before we learn position 5 of the blues scale, let's have a quick recap of every position we've learned so far to see how they all fit together. And as all previous parts of this series have been based in the key of G, I will continue this lesson in the same key. So here is position 1 of the minor pentatonic scale, position 2, position 3 and position 4. And as the blues scale is simply the minor pentatonic scale with one added note, the flat 5 interval, or in this case a D flat note in relation to the G root note, then let's now add these to our scale. If you have followed the last 4 parts of my series, you should now be pretty familiar with what you are looking at, and have many licks in each position that you can use to get a strong sense of how to approach the flat 5 interval or blue note within the scale. So now let's learn position 5 of the blues scale and then add this to our fretboard to see the full picture. First, let's look at position 5 of the minor pentatonic scale, which is arguably the easiest scale pattern to learn as it's completely symmetrical. And now let's identify the root notes in the scale. As we are in the key of G, then these would be the G notes located here, here and here. And now to find the flat 5 interval, we will count up 3 notes starting from and including the root note, with the exception of the root note found on the high E string, as this would lead us too far away from position 5. So let's focus on the first 2 root notes that occur in the scale instead. So let's count up 1, 2, 3 notes, and now simply place a note a half step, semitone or fret up from this note depending on where you come from in the world. This now reveals 2 locations you could play the flat 5 interval, otherwise known as the blue note within the minor pentatonic scale, which we can now call position 5 of the blues scale, or to be more specific, the minor blues scale. I will cover the major blues scale in the future if enough interest is shown. Leave a comment below if you want to see this lesson, or if you have any lesson requests you would like me to cover. But let's move on. So here is position 5 of the blues scale played ascending and descending. And now let's add this to the previous 4 positions to complete our minor blues scale map of the fretboard. As you can see, it neatly joins up with position 4 and can finally connect up with position 1 of the blues scale once again, completing our blues scale loop. It's also worth noting at this stage that, like any 5th position scale, arpeggio, chord or mode you learn on guitar, these can be played behind position 1. So be sure to try this either here behind position 1 on the 15th fret, or here behind the first instance of position 1 on the 3rd fret. Just be aware of the open strings used in this particular key. Don't spend longer than is necessary running up and down this new scale, instead start improvising over a backing track as soon as possible to begin getting used to the sound of this new flat 5 interval within the minor pentatonic scale. But to help you along and give you some ideas to get going with, let me show you 2 quick licks that you can use straight away, along with examples of what these licks would sound like over a typical 12-bar blues backing track in the key of G. Here's the first lick. To play this lick, we're going to play the note found on the 13th fret of the high E string, and the blue note, which is found on the 14th fret of the B string. Play both of these at the same time while sliding the blues note up to the 5th interval, which is on the 15th fret of the B string, like this. Once you're up here, you need to alternate between the high E string and the B string. So that sounds like this. So we're going to play the same idea 3 times. Before playing the note found on the B string, 13th fret, the note found on the G string, 15th fret, before finally playing the note found on the G string, 12th fret, which is our root note. All together. Let's hear that over a backing track. Here's the next lick. So to begin, we need to play a run of notes that all happen on the A string, but with one pick from the right hand. This is done with slides and pull-offs. So we're going to slide from the 15th fret of the A string up to the 17th and back again, followed by the same move but this time to the blue note found on the 16th fret and back again. So all together. And then we're going to pull off to the note found on the 13th fret of the A string, all in one pick motion. After this, you need to play the root note found on the low E string, which is our G note, back to the first finger on the 13th fret of the A string, and once more back to the root note. So all together, and up to speed. After this, you simply play the note found on the 12th fret of the G string, which again is our root note. And to finish up, we're going to grab both the B and E strings from the scale on the 15th fret and play them both together. All together. Let's hear that with the backing track.